Hi everyone, I'm Karen Combs and welcome to Flosstube 39. I had 40 written down on my list here and then I went and checked. No, it's 39 and this is November 16th, Saturday, and hopefully I'll get it uploaded later today so you'll be able to watch it. But welcome. It has been 2 weeks since my last video. I have a new phone, so I'm hoping everything is all right with it. Took me a while to adjust and get the setup because it's a little wider, so hopefully it's all right. But this channel is, well, a lot of different videos on there. You'll see some quilting tips, but this is a Flosstube video. Let's just get right into it because I have a lot of different things that I've worked on in the last 2 weeks. I have a few things that I've purchased, and I'm going to show you the two closets behind me. I've reorganized them. I'm going to show you that. Going to show you a little bit, just thought of something I have to write down. Going to show you the organization there, and I had a question about linen storage, so I'll show you how I'm doing it right now, but I've got some thoughts on that to share with you. So let's get started. I have been working on a lot of things. I just couldn't get settled. I had 2 new starts and I touched a lot of things and worked on a lot of things. I've continued with working on Harriet Salt here and there, mostly starting once I'm gonna stitch for the day, especially if it's during the daytime hours when the light's a little better, I will pick it up and start. And I am using 56 count. I think it's platinum. I should look at that, shouldn't I? I know that you've seen this a lot. So let me put in the comments if you're interested in seeing each time what linen it's on. I know we always get new viewers. Let me just, of course, can I find it? No. And now what I'm looking in is my book of days, which I'm looking forward to getting the new one. It is Weeks Parchment, 56 count, and I'm using 2 different colors of silk. I'm using Swasserfine for most of it, and that is $24.99. And then to highlight initials that are in our family, I'm using 103 in 335, which is a little darker, so you can see there. So let me show you. I've worked on that, gotten a little further on it. So kept down in this area. All right, so this is, let me find the, so the color is probably, that's pretty good right there, but let me just show you. I'm working on that corner down in there. So working on Harriet Salt, continuing to work on her here and there, getting a letter or 2 whenever I pick her up. And I've been interspersing that with, the other thing, are you curious about the project bags? Sometimes I show them, sometimes I don't. Do you want to see them every time? I'm always interested what people are using. But this is another one I've picked up when I'm starting to work. But some days I was enjoying it so much, I just kept going. This is Forest of Sumatra by Ink Circles. And it is kitted with 36 count sterling. The color is sterling, and I'm using Gloriana in Sumatra. And this is one of the, actually it was kitted, one of the kits I picked up at the estate sale in August. So I'm enjoying, I have several things that I've worked on that I've started from that sale. So here I am, you can see. Now the color, that's a pretty good representation of the color. Kind of a steel blue, steel gray blue, but get a little closer, you can see it. So just keep working on that, just like with Harriet Salt. If I work on a motif, each time I pick up my stitching or a letter, I'll get it going, I'll get it done. But Sumatra, I had several days where that's what I worked on. I was enjoying it, I just kept going. Some of the WIPs that I worked on, I'm just gonna pull it to my sheet so I can tell you instead of having to flip through the book, I can just look down at it. I thought I would work on this all October and into November, and I have a little bit, but not as much as I thought. This is Rebecca Nurse by The Primitive Hair. Get it where you don't get a shine from the light in the window. And I am doing this with the called for DMC, so it just has a few colors. So I didn't even put them on floss drops because there's really not a ton of stitching. It's 122 by 93. And I don't think I'm going to do the name. I think I'm just going to do the house and maybe put Salem. I may leave that off and just have it be a winter scene. But I am doing that on 35 count. I think this is Cocoa. And of course, I can't read it because I don't have my glasses on. Yes, Weeks Cocoa. So I got the front of the house done. It's got, and that's the color. Oh, good. I can see that's the color to show you. Now let me get it close up to show you. So got the front of the house done, working on the trees. So I worked on that for a couple days, and then I just switched to something else. I don't know why I do that. I just do. So, but I keep stitching a lot. The other thing, well, I've got a pile here of what I worked on. I also worked on, and this is another one of the estate sale kits, and sorry for the crinkling, but the bag's right here. Try to keep it at a minimum. This is New England Sampler by Brenda Keyes, the Sampler Company. Hold it up to show you and zoom in on what it is. And this one, I think the majority of the flosses, DMC flosses, were there, and then there were some missing, so I added them. But those are the colors. Ooh, look at that. Isn't that pretty? That one is on 25 count Lugana Potato, and I'm doing it 1/1, which is 1 strand over 1 linen, 1 bit of linen. Now, this is a big piece of Lugana, which I won't use all of it, but here is, yeah, that's good color right there. This is what I've gotten done so far, 1/1. Just enjoying working on that. So I think I got the second house done. Is it? No, don't have the roof quite done, but got the people, got the tree. I think I have to fill in the windows and the door. Let's take a look at the picture. Yes, I have to finish filling in the roof and the windows and door. And I believe I changed the color. And I didn't write a note here, but I'll look it up later. The color that was called for on the roof fill-in was so close that I couldn't tell a difference. So I lightened that up just a little bit, keeping within whatever colors I have here. Hopefully I put a note in my stitching. I made a working copy, and I usually put the information when I change things on there, but I didn't pull it all out. So, but that is one change. I don't think I've changed anything else so far. But when I did, you do the outline. and then you have the fill in. And when I did the fill in, there was no difference. At least for me, it was not enough of a difference. So I did look at the colors. I don't think I added any. I think I just picked a different color for it. So worked on that. Did a little bit of work on this one. And I'm having some, I won't say problems. I'm just kind of stuck. I'm getting all the threads out. Stuck on what to do here. So I've worked on it a little bit. I think I like the change I made. I'm not sure. Might have to change it again. I'll show you. But I am working on maps of Hawk Run Hollow. And I started in the upper right corner. So right where that sun is. And I'm using, for the most part, where are they? The called for silks. Yes, here they are. I think you can see the colors better if you kind of wind them up. So there are the colors, and I'll show you where I'm at. So worked on that. Now the sun, okay, and this is, there it is. That's the color of the linen. That linen is on Plum Street blend. It's 36 count. All right, so the sun, and this is gonna look not quite the right color, but the sun, if you look at it, see how it's kind of where the sun rays are? In the pattern, it is a very bright yellow, very bright. And I started stitching with it, and I didn't like it. Let me see if I can find it. Is it this one? Might be that one. I just didn't like it. Now I may switch back to it. It just was so bright. So what I did is I switched to, these are some extra silks I had that I've used for other things. I tried this one, Palomino, because it's a little more grayed. Ooh, the door gives you a good look. It blended right into the linen, couldn't see it. So then I switched to Palomino, which is this one, which is a little lighter. Still wasn't good. So what did I do? It wasn't on that one. Where is it? This one. This is Caramel by Dinky Dyes. See, it's yellow, but it's a little lighter. Now let me hold up the color that it's called for and the color that I'm stitching it in. All right, let me get it. So here's, I think if I hold it down, it's on two different rings. Now, Caramel has some lighter areas and darker areas, and unfortunately, all that's showing up right now are the light areas that almost look white. I'm still not happy with it. So I might just keep going with everything else around it. You know, you've got the rest of the sun. There's plenty to work on, and just might leave that and then look at it later. But I kept working on it. I kept pulling colors, and I just was not happy with it. So I don't know. I might have to go to Nashville Needleworks. Is mostly a needlepoint store. They do have some cross stitch, but they do have silks, and they have Dinky Dye, and maybe I'll go and see if there's a color that's similar to this, but not quite as bright. I don't know, it's like a 45-minute trip each way. Not that that's huge, but the traffic between where we live and Nashville is horrible. Any of you that have ever driven around Atlanta, that's another one that's tough to drive around. Well, Nashville is becoming just as congested, and there's construction, and it's just a nightmare. So I just tend not to go up there. So anyway, that's where I'm going with that, and I'm stuck right there, so I'm just going to probably keep working and decide what to do for that sun face later. All right, I had 2 starts that I'll show you in just a minute. Let me get to. So I did have 2 starts that I worked on quite a bit this last week. But before I show you that, I did not start something new. I did switch a couple days ago because I was scrolling through Instagram and I saw that Plum Street's going to have a new sampler called Salem Sampler. And Neil and Flax is doing a new color called Gallows or Gallow Hill. And I saw both those posts and I thought, oh, Plum Street, I haven't worked on a Plum Street probably since I did Live on Little and finished that earlier this year. And I thought, ooh, I feel like I'm in the mood to work on one of my Plum Streets. So I pulled out this project bag, get it? And there are 3 different projects in here. And I'll show you which one I'm working on. But the 3 that are in there were all started this summer. This is Plum Street American Welcome. And I am using the Called For, which is, I think, a combination of DMC. I think it's mostly DMC. Sorry for crinkling. Oh, yes, this one's got the color and cotton in it, too. So here we have it. Oh, so pretty. So American Welcome, and what did I do it on? Of course, now I have everything piled on top of it. So I'm going to have to turn the page. American Welcome. Where are you? I don't see it quickly. I hate when I do this. I don't have it organized. Ah, here it is. And why don't I have it written down where I can find it? I don't know. It is on 36 count Old Amana, which is what the original kit was called for. This is by Farm Girl Dry Goods, and that linen was offered probably this summer or spring. And I think this was released a year ago at Farm Girl Dry Goods Retreat. So this is Old Amana, Called For, with the color and cotton. That's about the color. And this is what I've done so far. So that was one option that I could work on in that bag. Now this isn't Plum Street, but it's in the same bag. This is Across the Sea, Chessie and Me, and it is on 36 count American Chestnut. How did I score a piece of that? I don't know. And it's the Called For. And I started this on Flag Day. I had seen the Attic and their newsletter, and Jean was talking about this, and or maybe it was on their Instagram, and I went, oh, I've got that. I've got to start it. So here are the Called For, hand dyed, mostly weeks, and there's a classic color work in there. So, oh, I did not move this hanging thread. I apologize for that. So here is, that's about the color. This has some specialty stitches in it. I worked on quite a bit this summer. So that I could work on, or show you the one I ended up working on. And in fact, I was working on it right before I started the video. So there might be a little bit of a mark where I took it out of the hoop. There is Liberty. So Plum Street, let me go up so you can see it. I'm noticing the words are backwards. I hope they are not backwards to you. I forgot to check that. Oh, I hope not. If it is, I apologize. And this is a combination of Weeks and DMC. Now here they are. And I had a little bit done, and I've been working on the lettering and all these precious little houses. All right, that's a good color. And there's my needle minder that my friend Bridget gave me, which is perfect color for this. So there it is. These little houses are so precious. I am enjoying working on that. So I've been working on that. We'll probably work on that today, maybe tomorrow, not sure. You know, you just get in, at least for me, a mood of working on something. And so that's what I've been working on. I'll show you my two new starts. But I wanted to mention, I was watching Vikki, the Virginia Stitcher, and she mentioned this, which I've kind of referred to. How do I work on what I want to work on? For me, it's I work on something until something else not really calls my attention away, but when I start not being excited about what I'm working on, I know it's time to change. And I know not everyone likes to work like that. I know there's lots of different reasons that people work the way they do, and whichever way you like to work, go for it. But for me, I can work on something sometimes all the way through. Other times, I just can't get settled until I find that one thing I feel like working on. And Vikki mentioned that. And she has, I think I watched 3 of her videos right in a row, because she has for this year 62 starts. And it was wonderful. I think she did 2 or 3 videos going through them. And she mentioned, you know, she'll work on something and then either she'll see something on a Flosstube and she'll think, oh, I have that and I'm going to start working on that. Or she'll see something on Instagram, and that's exactly what I did with the Plum Street I just showed you. I saw that post about the new Plum Street, which I don't have any more information about it yet. I keep watching the posts. And I thought, ooh, that's what I want to work on. So that's just how it goes. But I will put a link to Vikki's Flosstube. I really enjoyed her Flosstube this week when I watched it. So I have 2 new starts, and I didn't intend on doing these, and I don't know what, well, I know what one prompted me. And I'm not quite sure why I wanted to start the other one. I don't know, I just did. It has been on my radar for a little while. Oh, I know why I wanted to, because I got the linen when I was at Hobby House. So it is Mary Finley. And this was a mystery, meaning we bought it and we didn't know what it was going to be, with Scarlet House and Kitten Stitcher. So here it is. Let me back up. And I do have the Vikki Clayton Silk Pack, which are those right there. These are for something else. Just ignore those. So these are the colors. And I was really unsure about the linen, because the linen that's called for is medium dark button box by Mason Linen. And I don't think I ended up using that. No, I did not. Couldn't find button box. So I did antique button, medium dark, 40 count by Mason Linen. Now I had pulled, let me show you, because the linen is quite dark that's called for, but on the cover it's quite light. So I had pulled Fox and Rabbit Flannel Flower, which is gorgeous. I had also pulled Fortnite Fabrics Alfred, and I thought both of those were very similar to this. But then there's a couple of reasons I decided to look for the Mason Linen, mostly because I knew, I hoped I could find it at Hobby House, and I did. So this is the antique button. It called for button box, but I changed it to antique. button. Here's the linen. The other reason I changed from these lighter colors is because look at the white. It didn't show up at all. And I thought, well, it's okay if it's inside, which it mostly is, but then there's a lighter color, this lighter pink, that's outside the flower, and it wasn't showing up as well. So I thought, well, I'm gonna change to the darker linen. So here it is. Oh, it's so pretty. That's what I've got done so far. That's the color. Let me go up close so you can see it. So just working on the top right corner. And it's not going to be real big. 125 by 233. And where am I on the alphabet? Okay, I'm almost halfway in the alphabet. So picked this piece up at Hobby House and it looked like it was a good size. So that's one new start. Slide this over here. And then the other new start, I had shown this to you that I was thinking in November, dark sampler November. I know there's several hashtags for that, but it's basically working on a dark sampler. So I had pulled out a couple, but I decided to work on or start Anne Campion 1845. And it was kitted. I got this at Sampler Symposium in 2003, and it is kitted with Tabby Cat, 40 count Tabby Cat wood smoke. So I am using that linen. And it was also kitted with, and the two, here's the Aversois, the dark. Let me put it there in front of that door. These are just little highlights here and there. But I made a decision to totally change the black. So I was looking at Instagram, and how many of us are influenced by Instagram and what somebody's working on. Well, Jo Florence, who I'm going to make a note to put a link to her Instagram. And many of you follow her, I know. She has the most beautiful vignettes with her work. And there are many people on Instagram that do a beautiful job. And Jo is one of them. And I was looking at Jo's picture, and she had, I think it was Georgiana. Anyway, it was a dark sampler, and she was using Painter's Thread Waterhouse. And I thought, oh, I want to do that. So I ordered some. So here it is. I'm going to show you the tag. Here it is. And it is, I'm going to hold up the dark next to it. It is an interesting combination of colors. It is deep gray. It has a little, I'm going to hold it up. It's gorgeous. Let's see if there against the white. It's gorgeous. Now here's the black. So you can see it's a little bit different, but it is stunning on this linen. There, that's the color. I see the reflection of my window blinds. Now let me go close. I adore this alphabet. It's so clean. It is so pretty. And look at that wood house. It's stunning. So when I ordered it, and I ordered it from Threadnuts, and I'm going to put the link. They are the company that is doing the distribution, and I'll talk more about Painter's Thread in just a minute. Jane, who is the owner, messaged me back about my order, and I ordered a couple things. And she said, "Are you the Karen Combs that wrote books and did fabric?" And I think we met at Quilt Market many times. She worked for a couple different companies. And I said, "Yeah, that's me." And we started talking, and we know each other. And so we were talking about this gorgeous thread. And I want to show you what I ordered. And then Jane was so kind to send me some of the different threads that they have. So let me show you what I ordered and then show you some of those threads. And I'll put the link to the website so you can see. They are, if you're in the US, they are who you order from. Now this is the color that I ordered for and Campion. I also ordered two other colors, Picasso. Let me go close. Where's my camera? Hopefully you can see that. Get my fingers out of the way. There. Which is a combination of blues and it's just gorgeous Picasso colors. Now what these are these are threads that are dyed in Germany, and then they're distributed by Threadnuts here in the US. This particular one is a Versoix 103, as is Waterhouse. This is 103, a Versoix, which is hand-dyed in Germany. This one is also 103. And the other one I ordered is Mariana, which is just a gorgeous berry color. Oh, it's gorgeous. So those are the ones I ordered, and I'm actually thinking about using this color with one of the charts. And I don't know if I showed you this. I don't think it came in before when I did my last video. This is Modern Folk Embroidery Real Comfort, a Jane Austen sampler. What I'm going to do, or my plans to do, is the row of houses with the tree and then the verse where it says, "Ah, there is nothing like staying home from real comfort." I think I'm going to leave off the alphabet and the Jane Austen at the top. I think I'm just going to do that middle section. And I think this color would be gorgeous. So that's my plan, at least what I'm thinking right now. So those are all a Versoix. Let me show you some of the other threads. And remember, these are all hand-dyed in Germany. Let me pull them out and then I'll show you. And it was so nice of Jane to send me a variety so I could share it with you. Oh, this is Georgia, and this is Swasserfine. So a Versoix Swasserfine. So these are our favorite threads, just hand-dyed. And I don't know if you can see the subtle variation in that. Just gorgeous. This is Soie d'Argent. So this is going to be several strands. Let me get where you can see it. And then I'll go close so you can see the colors. Hopefully you can see the colors. Do I have anything white? Yes, that I can put behind it. I don't know if that's better or not. Hopefully you can see the colors because the variation is just stunning. This one is Flower Thread. Oh my goodness, Riesling. It's the color. And let me put it close up. I don't know. I don't think that actually helps. just, some of them have lots of different colors. Some are just the most beautiful, subtle shading. That's what this one is. This is Riesling. Try to hold these still so you can see it. This is a 12 weight pearl cotton, which is the equivalent of 2 strands of floss. And I know I'm going to butcher the name, so I'm going to put it up here. These are all beautiful threads that then are hand dyed. Look at that. Hopefully you can see it. This is beautiful autumn colors. I just am not doing this very well. The color does not, to me, look like it's showing up. Maybe back here. It's just stunning. Think of autumn colors. And this one is DMC. Oh, Gauguin. Think of the colors in a Gauguin painting. Oh, it's beautiful. So DMC. Before I forget, this, the 103, on the website, it will tell you all of the yardages. This 103 has 150 meters. Now a normal normal 103 is 50 meters. This is 3 times as much, and you can see that right here in the description. Hopefully that is showing it to you. A couple more. This is, I have never used this. This is DMC Moline, but it is mercerized twice. So it has a smooth surface. Oh, look at the colors. I'm anxious to try these. The colors, the threads, and then here's a metallic, which is an Aversois metallic, which is equal to a 2-ply. I haven't tried this, but reading the reviews of this particular thread, looks like it's going to be wonderful to work with. And one more, so they have a huge variety of these beautifully dyed threads. This is Aversois Soie Paris. And this is a strand, not spun silk. Now let me put the white behind it. I don't know if that's any better. It looks like I'm getting a shadow. Looking up these threads, because several I was unfamiliar with, and I want to share a website with you that there's a wealth of information. Mary Corbett has a website. I just keep finding things on it. It's called Needle and Thread N Needle. Thread and Needle, but it's the letter N. And I'm going to put the link to it. If you have questions about threads, that's a wealth of information. So several of these threads I have not used before, and that's where I went to find some information about them. But these are all Painter's Threads collection. And Threadnuts is who is distributing them in the US, and I'm going to put a link to that because they are fabulous. I can't wait to get some more colors. I'm thinking of the red samplers I want to do with it. So excited to try these. So I wanted to share that with you. Go to my notes here and move things out of the way. So I didn't get that much haul. Where is that pearl cotton? I was looking at this, looking at what Jane sent me. Where is it? The pearl cotton. Well, I can't I don't know where I laid it, but I'm thinking the pearl cotton and that painter's thread. I know many of us have these mesh bags, and there are patterns where you can stitch on them. Wouldn't the pearl cotton and the painter's thread be glorious in this? So I pulled that because I want to play with that. So that's something I'm thinking about. So the little bit of haul that I got, I'm not sure if these had come in yet. I showed you this last time. I picked up Mary Chokes at Hobby House. And I did get the Vikki Clayton silk pack. I might have shown you these. It seems like I might have. So here it is. I love these silks. And there is some over one, because I think I'm going to do this on 46. There is over one in the verse. So I ordered 2 different of the Superfine from Vikki. And I think that the Kodiak Bear, which is right here, is going to work wonderfully. So I ordered 2, and I think the Kodiak Bear is going to be just exactly, where is it? Well, it's an exact match to what's in the kit there. So I did get those silks in. I don't think I showed you the silks. I showed you this chart last time. This was from Hobby House. It's a Tabby Cat reproduction. And this is, I didn't even try to pronounce that name, but I did get all of the 103s, which I only had a few last time. So here they are. Oh, look at the colors. It's like a combination of Art Deco and 1960s meets 1881. All right, hold on. Let me get this organized. Look at those colors. So the called for linen is, well, let's see. It does have some, no, it doesn't have queen stitch. It looks like it has queen stitch. I don't see a linen called for. So I don't see a linen that's called for, but it's that golden color, so I'll do a thread toss. But I loved those colors so much, I decided to go ahead and get the 103s, and it does have 3 different options for your flosses. You could do DMC, you could do Soie, you could do 103. So I opted for the 103. I haven't picked a linen yet. Also got, basically I just got some floss to go with the things I had purchased. This is Just Stitching Along, MJ age 11. And I did order the 100, no, ordered the DMC. Sorry for the crinkling. So here are the DMCs. I haven't put them on floss drops yet, but it's quite a few colors. So here's the 103, and then I did pick up 40 count platinum. I think those are going to look really pretty. I think the white will show up. I think all the colors will show up really well on that. So that one's all kitted and all ready to go. I'm making some noise here. Let me just check my notes. I did get, let me see where we're at. This was going to be a shorter video today, but that's okay. I did get, showed you this, my next Vikki Clayton Fiber of the Month, which I have 4 months now that I'm keeping track of, and I'm trying to decide how to store them. And I have not come up with a good solution yet, but I have one of these bobbin boxes. And I thought, you know, how many fit? 1, 2, 3, 4. I think there's quite a few fit in each little section. 8. No, 10. No, 12, sorry. 12 fit in each one of these sections. So and how many sections? 1, 2, 3, 6, 18. 18 sections times 12, well, I can get a lot in there. So far I have just sorted them how they came to me, but pretty soon I think I will put them in alphabetical order. So that way I'll have them. I haven't quite decided yet, but I wanted to be able to access them. I didn't want them to take a lot of storage. And I know a lot of us have these bobbin boxes, so I thought, that's going to be a good alternative because I can get a lot. I think I figured with 2 of these bobbin boxes, I can get the whole range or all the months. There are 36. And you can sign up for the Fiber of the Month at Vikki Clayton's website. She has the DNC equivalent. What I'm ordering are the hand-dyed equivalents. There's 37. I'm just looking. I got in at the very end, so I have 36, 37, and then I started at 1. So you can start whenever. But anyway, I'm going to keep these so I can keep organized. But that's what I'm thinking of doing. I think this will fit very nicely. So then if I just have 2 of these boxes, I can pull them out, and there's all my threads, all my hand-dyed equivalent with the Vikki Clayton silk. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about, which I have a video I'll put on the end of my 2 closets, and the one I've totally reorganized, so now I have my linen and my threads and my WIPs, everything all organized. Had a question about how to store linen. Now, I've seen a lot of different options. One that I thought about was getting hangers, like pant hangers or a shirt or a skirt hanger that have the clips, and hanging them up. And you can put several layers of linen in that clip. And I thought about that, but I ended up putting them in baskets lined with fabric. The reason I have it lined with fabric is, now I'm going to revert back to my quilting years and experience. When we have antique quilts or quilts that we want to store for a long time, you want to keep them away from sunlight because it'll fade. You want to keep it away from moisture so it doesn't mildew. You want to keep it away from dust. So sometimes people will put them in cabinets. Now, and you also don't want to put them, say, in a hope chest that's wood or a wooden chest, because the wood is going to, over time, discolor and could even possibly, the acid in the wood, eat away the fabric. Now, we're talking many years, probably decades, but if you're storing something for a long time, it's something to think about. Or if you have an antique quilt that you want to keep. A lot of times people say, oh, I put it in my hope chest. Should I do that? And it's like, oh, think of that fabric against the wood, and it might be all right for now, but over time it won't be. So I had that same thought about my wicker or oak baskets is, well, it's wood. That acid of the wood could eat into the linen. So when I was teaching at Paducah at the quilt show, taught there many times, but one time, that was probably 8 years ago, maybe 7. I don't know. Maybe it was 2019. I think it was 19. Anyway, they took the faculty on a tour of the Quilt Museum there in Paducah, which is phenomenal. If you ever get through Paducah and you enjoy seeing quilts, go to the museum. It's fantastic. But they took us through a tour of the museum, but also we got to tour their storage, their vault, their storage area where they store quilts. Now, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute, but when I store quilts, I never store them folded, because the act of folding, and especially if you stack them, you are going to get a crease. It's that fold and the pressure over time that will cause a crease and could cause that area to have some sun damage, could fade, could deteriorate. And again, we're talking over time, but I want to keep my quilts as long as I can. So the way I store them is I have the quilts, and you saw this on my video from a few times ago, the sewing room tour. I have them on a table. The table is cloth covered, and then I have them all stored so they are flat. They are relaxed, they are flat, they are away from sun. The only time they're folded is when I would travel in the suitcase. And as soon as I would get where I'm going, I would lay them flat on a bed. So I'd usually get 2 queen beds or 2 double beds, because I could put one bed for the quilts where they could just relax, and then I slept in the other one. And I also have quilts. I don't have them all down here in my sewing area. I have some upstairs in a spare bedroom. Again, they're all stacked on the bed, completely flat, resting, so there's no stress on that. And I know everyone can't do that. And if you have your quilts folded, what I would suggest, first of all, make sure they're not on wood, because that could cause discoloration, could cause problems later on. But if you have them folded and stacked, I would pick a time, every 6 months, whatever time frame, take them out, let them relax, and then restack them so the one on the bottom isn't always on the bottom. So I'm thinking of that with linen storage. Right now I have my linen, as you'll see in the video, in a basket folded, so I can just kind of flip through it, almost like flipping through a recipe book, just to see, or a card file, flip through and see what linen I have there. But I am concerned about that being in there folded and squashed over time. Is it going to cause creases that will not come out? I don't know the answer to that. So for right now, that's what I'm doing, but ultimately I'm pondering, and this is going back to the tour at AQS. They had archival boxes, acid-free. And that's what you want, acid-free box, acid-free tissue paper. And I don't know if you could get away with maybe using a different kind of box and line it with acid-free tissue paper. That may work, but I'm thinking of the, well, all right, a rectangular box, bigger than this. And we've seen them, the storage boxes that, I don't know, are this deep or so. I'm thinking, what if I store my linen, line it with acid-free paper? That way it can lay in this rectangular box, mostly unfolded. Maybe there will be one fold or rolled. I'm still pondering that, and I'm thinking the quilts that were in the storage that we saw, they were folded, but they had a thick column of acid-free tissue paper, so the fold wasn't like a piece of paper that was flat. It was a gentle fold. So I'm just thinking in my mind how to, for long time storage, to keep my linen from creasing or getting a crease that's never going to go away, what to do. And right now, I don't have an answer for myself, but I am thinking right now I have them in those baskets, but they aren't super tight. There's room for the linen to kind of relax. So that's my thought process on quilt storage, especially antique or archival level quilt storage. And I'm sure there's other ways that they are stored. That's just the one that I saw that they showed us. They probably had others, but they shared that with us. They opened up one of the boxes so we could see. It was fascinating. I know that there's the Quilt Museum in Lincoln, Nebraska. There are other quilt museums. I'm sure they all have certain ways. I think I've seen some that they're rolled on long tubes, stored that way. That might be an option, kind of taking it over to linen. I'm not sure, but I know I pay, just like you do, a lot of money for my linen, and I want to, when I open it up, not have it sun damaged or creased or a problem where I can't use it. So anyway, that's how right now I store my linen, and you will see in just a minute, the video with that. So I think that's it for today. I want to thank you for all of your past comments, all of your past subscribing, your thumbs up with a like, and I know that many of you are watching on a device that you can't hit that thumbs up, and that's all right. I appreciate your comments. I appreciate you watching. As I met many of you, well, not many, we had a lot of people there, but I had some wonderful people come up and tell me they watched, and I want to thank you for that. It was a pleasure to meet you. I think that's it, and I know I've said that. I got it. My husband says, you got to get a better closing. I was like, yeah, I do, but I'm just rambling now. So I will put the links to the things I talked about in the description box, and I want to thank all of you for joining me today, and stay tuned for the video on what's in those 2 closets, and possibly another time I'll show you the auxiliary storage area. So thank you for joining me. Benji just ran over. He's got to go out, so I'm going to take him out. Bye, everyone. Thank you. Behind me, I have 2 closets. You can see those in the video. And I want to show you the one that I have reorganized. Well, actually both, but I want to show you the one with my cross-stitch storage. Let me come up here and open the door. So in this closet in the sewing room video, it was filled with fabric, which I still have fabric, but I also now have room for some of my cross stitch. So all of those fabrics up there are my designs. There's also fabric behind the floss all the way down. But what I want to show you is how I've organized the floss. I have it by maker. And I'm going to try to hold this still and show you. All right, so these are weeks, and I have them on S-hooks that I got from Amazon, and they're on rings. So I'm sorry that this is moving, trying to do it so you can see it. So there are my weeks. Of course, we have the fabric fairy guarding the fabric. She's also guarding the floss now. But here I have weeks, Gentle Arts, and Classic Colorworks. And then on the next shelf, I have linen. And in this basket, I have 40 count. You'll notice it's fabric lined. And then on this basket, which I have tucked some fabric into, you just can't see it. That's I think that's the 35 and 36, and then the Lugana, and up to about 32 is there. And then down here, I have 2 baskets. Those are with kitted charts. Sometimes kitted with just the floss, sometimes kitted with the fabric as well. And then that basket has, those are just charts. I can't remember what's in there. Might be some blackbird or some overspill that wouldn't fit. And then down here, I have, remember a few videos ago I showed you the Achfeld wire. Well, here I have, I'm gonna get closer, here I have my WIPs. And I took some quilting cotton, laid it over the metal, and that's where I can drape my WIPs that I don't want to get wrinkled. So those are all in progress. Now I'm going to back up and just give you an overview. So when I open that closet, there is everything organized, and I have some a whip basket down here. You saw this on the other video. That hasn't changed, and a whip basket down there. I do have an auxiliary whip basket, which I'm not going to show you today. But as a treat, now if you get dizzy, just look away for a minute while I scroll over here in this closet, which I did not show you last time. I have cleaned it out, so I'm going to show you. So I've got a lot of things that are special to me, things organized. Some of it's stitching related, some of it's quilting related, some of it's knitting related, but just some special things that I can actually see. That towel is actually where an iron rests, but it's cooling, so it's not there right now. Some things that, like I said, are special to me, make me laugh, picked up along the way of my travels, people that have given it to me. There's some knitting down there. But when I open this closet, I can get the things I need, and I can remember the things that are special to me and the people that gave them to me. So I hope you enjoyed that little, let me just turn over here, that little peek at my reorganization. And let me just come over here, and we'll end on this little vignette right here.